Hello dear YouTube. In today's video I will show my game against Christopher Yu. I was white, Spring Chess Classic, round 8. Let's go. E4, C6. Yes, while I was preparing, it was really hard to understand what exactly Christopher will play, because he plays e4, c5, c6, e6, e5, and many other moves. Yes, but briefly I can say that I checked c6 today morning. So d4, d5, e5, and here he had some c5 games and also bishop f5, h4, h5, and here, if you remember, a couple of days ago against Aryan Chopra, I played bishop d3, Aryan took queen takes d3, played queen a5. So already at that time, while I was preparing against Aryan Chopra, I also checked c2, c4 move. And today morning as well, I went through c4 lines and over the board decided why not to play it. So c4, and here the main move is e6, knight c3, and d takes c. My opponent started with d takes c. I don't think white has anything extra except taking on c4. So I took e6, and here I also don't think white has anything better than just developing knight c3. So I played knight c3, and we transposed knight d7, knight d2, bishop e7, and this is the critical position. Yes, just let me show you one small idea and game. So bishop b3, bishop e7, bishop c2, bishop takes c2, queen takes c2. This was played by Ivic against Gurel, and here c5 is the strongest move. A young Turkish player played knight h6, bishop takes h6, rook takes h6, knight f3, and white is slightly better. Yes, I also checked bishop b3 move, so I went knight d2, bishop e7, and g3. This was my preparation, and I knew that knight h6, according to engines, is the strongest, and there I prepared bishop f4 move. But my opponent, Christopher Yu, after spending maybe a couple of minutes, he went b5. I played bishop b3 because I could play bishop d3, but the problem is being not knight e5, because here bishop f5, knight f3, king f1, e takes f, and knight is trapped. I didn't play it because of just bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, knight takes e5, queen e4. The line still goes, knight d7, queen takes c6, and here, even if black sacrifices pawn on b5, black does have good compensation. A6 move is also possible, b4 is also there, knight b5, rook c8. So I wasn't sure about all these positions, that's why I played bishop b3. Yes, a5, not a5, b4 was played, and here I spent a lot of time deciding where exactly to go with my knight, b1 or a4. I think knight a4 was the strongest. The point was knight b1, bishop e4, short castle, and here my knight always comes to d2. This was my point. That's why I considered knight b1. Eventually I went knight a4, c5 was played. I was thinking about bishop e4 move, which is also quite interesting. I wanted to play some rook g1 move, because if short castle, bishop h4 is not really working, because here knight g3 is there. But g5 was quite interesting. Let's say h takes g, bishop g5, queen g5, and then h4 ideas are there. I wanted here to play after bishop a4 bishop e4, rook f1 or rook g1. Yes, Christopher before knight a4 played c5. Yes, I played bishop f4. I wanted to make bishop e3 work, but somehow always some knight h6 ideas are there and knight is jumping to g4. The point why I placed my bishop on f4 was, first of all, whenever I take on c5 or opponent takes on d4, I didn't want to have e5 pawn always hanging. That was the point why I placed my bishop on f4. The other point was to always have opportunity to push d5. So I played bishop f4, and here, yes, of course, c takes d ideas are not good because of knight takes d4 or queen takes d4. So knight h6 was played, and here I played short castle. I was very optimistic about my position, my chances, because I'm already threatening some d5 ideas. g5 I just take with the pawn, bishop takes g5, and I take on c5. So I was very optimistic, but here Christopher found queen a5, just great move. I didn't really see it. Queen a5. The point is black just wants to play rook d8. So here I consider many moves. Eventually I took on c5 with the knight. Maybe about 1 hour I spent here. I was trying to make d5 work, but knight g4 comes. Now e5 pawn is hanging. So if d6, bishop d8. Yes, and now e5 pawn is hanging, and I wanted to play some rook c1. For example, if you take on e5, I take, and then rook c5 comes. But here short castle is there. And I don't have really f3, because in the end of the line there is bishop, not knight c5, rook c5, and bishop b6 just finishes the game. So what else I considered? Yes, I wanted to play also this, like rook e1. First of all, short castle is there, but even if takes, yes, I wanted to make this work, like knight f4, bishop g4, d7. If knight d7, there is queen d5. If king f8, there is queen d6. King e7 is there. So here probably white has some compensation, but I think just short castle, and anyway, you don't have any moves with the e2 knight. Yes, another move which I considered was rook e1 and rook d8, d5, but here just e takes d works, and then I wanted to play eventually this and take here with the bishop. If I take with the queen, then knight b6 is there. Yes, it was very complicated. Eventually I took knight c5, knight takes c5, d takes c, rook d8, queen c1. Yes, I could play bishop a4, but just king f8. I played this. Bishop takes c5. Here I was also considering knight g4, but more or less I didn't see anything very dangerous for my position after bishop c2, let's say. Yes, bishop takes c5 was played, and another choice white is having. Yes, I went eventually bishop takes h6, because knight always wants to jump to g4. Takes, I played rook d1. More or less I don't think I had anything better than what I played. Rook d1, queen d1. And here I think that's why I spent a lot of time on move knight c5, because I was very much worried about my position, and here as well I think black is better. Yes, I fully see that black does have problems with the development and with the rook on h6. But if somehow they manage to consolidate the position, of course they are probably better because of pair of bishops, and my pieces aren't doing much. Yes, but here queen b6, I think queen b6 was first inaccuracy by my opponent, because you are not really threatening to take on f2. I played rook c1. If you take bishop f2, this was very interesting. Here I wanted to go king g2, and after bishop e4, king h3. I could also play king h2, bishop takes g3 comes, king g3, there is rook g6. So I calculated something like this. Bishop e4 comes, queen h4 comes. So this was very double-edged and complicated over the board to see. But I wanted to go king g2, bishop e4, king h3. Yes, my opponent here instantly played rook h8. No, I think he played g6. I played king g2. he played rook h8 and bishop c2. And here I'm sure that white does not have any problems and only white can be better. Yes, king e7 was played. I took on f5, g takes f5. And here, yes, I played queen d2. I could also go knight f4, but I didn't because of bishop d4. And somehow my pawn on e5 is quite soft. So I played queen d2 with the ideas to go queen g5 check. Of course, bishop f2 does not work because of queen d6 check. And here, yes, I was expecting some rook g8 move and wanted to go rook c4. My opponent played queen c6. I played f3 and queen b5. And here I had about 2 minutes and my opponent had more than 40-50 minutes. Yes, I burned all my time and now I really need it. If I would have some 10-15 minutes, I would continue. But here I went queen g5, king d7, queen d2, and we repeated the position. Yes, here initially I wanted to go knight f4 and but didn't really see what I'm doing after bishop e3. Rook d1, there is king c8, queen g7, rook e8. Yes, I wasn't sure. But after the game we discussed with Christopher that queen f7 would have been possible and bishop f4, g takes f, queen e2, I just go there. And this looks very drawish. The problem is being that something like king b7 and queen goes check and king a6 takes and king a5. And it's very hard for white to escape with the king. Yes, but he said that he didn't like rook d1 here. Yes, I'm sure that white is much better, maybe even close to winning. Yes, but I was very low on time and that's why didn't know what to do. So now let's check with the computer to see the mistakes. Oh, no. Yes, all these are more or less new. This was my prep. Yes, knight g3, bishop g6, knight e2, so g3 I played. Yes, and I knew that knight h6 is the move and bishop f4. Yes, b5 was played. Yes, bishop b3. Bishop d3 is not really working. But yes, takes. And yes, knight e5 or b4. So I played bishop b3. Queen b6 would have been stronger. b4. Yes, and knight b1 would have been stronger. Yes, I thought that knight on a4 at least does some work, controls c5 square, and I don't have time really to go knight b1, knight d2. It will take too much time, but I was wrong. So knight a4 and here c5 was played. So I was, yeah, short castle is working. No, but here I was. No, I think I wanted to go rook g1 or rook f1 because here I thought g5. Just f3 or h takes g, knight f4. So c5 was played. Wow. Short castle, knight h6, bishop f4, bishop f4. So I played bishop f4. Yes, queen a5, so knight h6, I played short castle. Queen a5. Wow. But this was so complicated to understand. I saw even bishop g5. I saw bishop g5 but didn't understand. Yes, rook c1 also. Rook c1, rook d8, bishop g5. I saw all that lines I saw, and yes, it's not easy at all. So computer says here why I didn't play short castle. Yes, what about g5? It's not working really. No, it's not working. So I played this, knight h6. I played this, queen a5. And I played knight takes c5. I was thinking about d5, but it does not really work. Knight g4 comes. So I took with the knight. Knight takes d takes. He played rook d8. Yes, the strongest move. Here I played queen c1. I could go bishop a4, bishop d7. That was very hard to... I also saw knight d4, but didn't understand what I'm doing after queen takes c5, for example. Knight f5. Wow. Yes, bishop a4, king f8, bishop e3, queen e5 I saw. So I played queen c1 and knight g4. Knight g4 would have been very unpleasant. So bishop c5 was played. Yes, I saw bishop g5 as well. I took there. G takes h also works. My opponent took. I played rook d1. Rook d1, queen takes d1. Wow. And queen c7. I saw queen c7 move, but anyway, I wanted to play some rook c1 even. And if check. Check bishop e7 is there. Wow, queen b6, rook c1. And this is just much better for me. Much better. Yes, bishop f2 does not work. King g2 and king f1. Yes, g6 was played. Yes, I saw even queen d2 move. I played king g2. My opponent went there. I played bishop c2. King e7 was played. I took there. G takes f. Yes, I saw knight f4, but bishop d4 is there. I played queen d2. Yes, here I saw rook g8, and it was not obvious for me. I wanted to go rook c4. I played f3. And I did not see rook d1. Now I played this. Yes, I did not see rook d1. And Christopher after the game said, yes, I did not see it. It's almost over. What if rook g8? Just knight f4. So simple. Yes. Dear YouTube, dear friends, dear viewers, I had rook d1. And as you can see, it shows about +4. Yes, I did not see rook d1 move. Yes, it's so... I was trying to make this work, and here knight f4. Yes, but I realized that bishop e3 comes. Yes, but just rook d1. Waiting move. Bishop does not have many moves. Queen as well. Queen g5, knight f4 is coming. Yes, it's so unpleasant. Yes, it was hard to see what I'm doing here, but any move, like with the king, the knight goes just f4. Knight f4, you are threatening to take on h5. Even rook h8 is not working because knight g6, I guess, there. Yes, thank you very much, dear viewers. Yes, it's... Yeah, it's very hard to find some words to describe what I'm feeling right now.